59 with me, Joe.
The antenna, N5BE, W5ABI, the antenna's up about 8 feet. We're going to do some work on it today, so who knows?
Well, let me tell you a war story. When I was building mine, the night before it went on the roof, I had it laying sideways on the ground. I came in the shack, 10 over with Mexico City.
Yeah, I had something similar yesterday afternoon. I was on 17 after I lowered the antenna, and I worked Naples, Italy with a S9 signal.
Well, as the Brits would say, it's an amazing piece of kit.
Yeah, thanks for the report, Leon. W5ABI, standing by for that. K2SJP W5ABI.
W5ABI, K2SJP. 10 over 9, Joe. Good copy.
Yeah, the antenna's practically down on the ground. It's about 7 or 8 feet up. We're going to work on it this morning.
Okay. K4YDB, this is K2SJP. Good morning, Charles.
K2SJP is K4YDB. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Did you get my email with the question of the day last night?
Oh, yes, sir, I sure did, and it's already posted. I won't bring it up until close to 11.
Okay, great, Charles. Thank you for doing that.
Not a problem. It's K4YDB standing by.
Now, this is K2SJP Net Control for the Air Force's Flyers Club Net. Net will commence in about 8 minutes. Question of the day is on K4YDB's live stream and also on the AIM window on NetLogger. K2SJP standing by.
K1BOB standing by. S9, Bob. Good morning.
Oh, you're coming in real good today, Bob. Good morning to you. This time I made a list separately just in case NetLogger goes out again.
Good idea. I need to figure out how to print it so I don't have to do that in case you lose it just before the net starts. K1BOB, thanks for running it today, Bob. Looking forward. K1BOB. Morning, Chief Frank. K1BOB. Fire Nesting and S8 into Idaho. Good signal, though. K1BOB.
N5BE, K1BOB.
K1BOB N5B. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Lee. Hey, I want to thank you again for all the blood, sweat, and tears you put into yesterday morning. That must have been a real workout for you. I certainly appreciate that. You get 2 pats on the back for that. K1BOB, thanks, Lee.
Oh, Bob, you're welcome. I still don't know what happened, but I redid NetLogger twice, so I had 3 NetLogger attempts, and I think the third finally took. And I have no idea what was wrong, but we got it done. Thanks for everyone's patience.
Do you ever hook up your EchoFlow generators so they're plugged in and charging on home current, and they also are providing current for your radios and stuff or computers? I've done that on mine. It works pretty good. It's like a non-interruptible power supply.
Yeah, I did that partially yesterday. You know, I knew when the power went out was when my CPAP machine stopped working. So I called my wife, and she came over and plugged it into the EchoFlow.
Good girl. Very good, yeah. Very, very handy. You never know for what, though. K1BOB.
This K2SJP Net Control. Does anybody on the list need to be a short timer to be moved up to the top of the list? K2SJP BOBS. Nothing heard. 4 minutes to net time. K2SJP.
K1BOB, W5ABI. Do you copy, Bob?
Yeah, W5ABI.
Down there with the lowered antenna there.
There, Joe, I copy.
Come back again and say what the Okay, Bob, you're not real loud, but the antenna's practically on the ground. We're getting a new rotor put on it this afternoon, so there's not much difference up high or low. You're only about an S2 at the best there, and you're going down into the noise. My noise below a S1, so yeah, it makes a difference, I guess, when the skip's not so good short. I better get off here. 4 minutes to go for the Air Force Flyers. Good morning to you, Joe, though. K1BOB. Good morning, Bob. W5ABI, standing by for net.
Good morning and welcome to the Air Force's Flyers Club Net. This is K2SJP Net Control for the Tuesday Net. We meet on this frequency at 1500 Zulu every day of the year. The Flyers Club consists of military aviation members, both active and retired, pilots, air crew, ground crew, air traffic controllers, missile crews, support crews, and anyone involved with military aviation, all branches of the military. We gladly welcome visitors to our net. You do not have to be involved with the military or aviation to check in. Our purpose is remote fellowship between radio amateurs who devoted a portion of their lives to support our air forces. This is a controlled net. Contact net control. Use the words contact, relay, check-in, or info. Our website is Air Forces, plural, Flyers, plural, club.org. That's Air Forces, Flyers, club.org. A lot of info about our net and also an online application if you feel qualified to join. My call is K2SJP. My name is Bob. My QTH is Tampa Bay, Florida. We take check-in and go down the list, allowing each station to give their report. We also usually have a question or two today in regards to aviation. Time permitting, we go back for a 73 round. Hello to followed by another minute the next hour, 2 kilohertz. This is K2SJP Net Control. I have the following check-in from NetLock. And thank you to Lee for populating our NetLock today. W5PIX. K24HJN, 1 and Lee, and 5 Bravo Echo, morning again Lee, and Dale, W5OG, morning Dale, and we have James, V5PTE, we have Ray, W6JJO, we have Bill, W6WLA, at my home state of Bill. And we have Joe, W5ABI. We have our commander, K1BOB, Bob. And we have another Bob, an X6RG, who probably has a pounding signal in here. We'll find out shortly. Good morning to you, Bob. And we have Charles, K4YDB. Thank you again, Charles, for posting the live stream on YouTube for the questions of the day. And we have Frank, N4GYY. Good morning to you, Frank. And we have N4BJ8. That's Bernard. I am not familiar with Bernard. We have KJ5IAI, who's received only. So we'll say good morning to you, Michael. And that's the end of my list here. Is there any other check-ins? Please call now. This is K2SJP Net Control. Okay, nothing heard. Dale, W5OG, would you make a call, please? This is K2SJP.
Will do there, Bob. This is Whiskey 5 Oscar Golf relaying for Net Control. We're taking check-ins for the Air Force's Flyers Club Net members or guests. Call now. I don't hear anything here. Bob, back to net.
Okay, thank you for that, Dale. Let's go over to Bill, W2WLD, upstate New York. Would you make a call out, Bill? This is K2SJP.
Yeah, certainly will, Bob. This is W2WLD, upstate New York. Relaying for net control for the Air Force's Flyers Club net. We're taking check-ins, members or guests. Please call now. The QRP station one more time, Kilo, Quebec.
Kilo, Quebec, 4, Tango, Delta, Quebec. This is Al, down in Tampa Bay, Florida, and we are operating with 10 watts.
Al operating with 10 watts out of Florida. You're about a 5 and 3 in the upstate New York. Kilo, Quebec 4, Tango, Delta, Quebec. Al, are you going to stick with us on the net, or did you just want a report? Over.
You could just give me a report. We're just doing some QRP. We could go a lot higher with it, but we just want to see what our QRP signals are out there. Where are you located?
Yeah, I'm in upstate New York near the capital, Albany. You went up to a 5 and 6, so you're doing very well with the 10 watts. Over. Okay, well, I'm going to continue to ask for check-ins, but thank you for joining us, and you're doing very well with 10 watts. Break. W2WLD, looking for check-ins for the Air Force's Flyers Club. Call now. No, nothing else heard, Bob.
Okay, thank you for doing that, Bill. And I did not copy that QRP station whatsoever. Not even on SDR. Okay, let's see. Do we have any short timers? Are there any short timers? This is K2SJP. Okay, nothing heard. Okay, let's go to the question of the day then. And as follows. What aircraft was made for SAC but was canceled after a mid-air collision? Answer: Alpha, the North American XB-70A Valkyrie. Bravo, the North American Bronco. Charlie, the Douglas C-58. Delta, the C-14. The C-14. Echo, none of the above. I will repeat the question. What aircraft was made for SAC but was canceled after a mid-air collision? A, the North American XB-70A. B, the North American Bronco. C, the Douglas B-58. D, the C-14. And E, none of the above. And the bonus question of the day is, how many pilots were lost in both aircraft? How many pilots were lost altogether with both aircraft? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, 4, E, none. Again, bonus question is, how many pilots were lost in both aircraft? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, 4, E, none. And that's the question of the day. Did everybody get that okay? Need any repeat or clarification? Anybody? It's K2SJP. Okay, nothing heard. Let us go to the top of the list then. Top of the list is our Mobile W5PIX. Uncle Clifford, you're up. This is K2SJP. Is Clifford talking?
He was talking. Faded out of me. K1BOB.
He's talking.
At PIX Mobile, K2SJP. We're not able to copy you right now, Cliff, and don't hear you on the SDR either. So we'll come back to you in a little while to see if we can get you then. Next on the list is Steve, KQ4HJN. You're up, Steve. This is K2SJP. Business all the way. We got you for the Valkyrie and none. And I'm copying you okay on the SDR, but not hearing you locally. So it looks like the band is going south. Let's hope it lasts a little bit. We'll try calling you again on the 73 round, Steve. If you're not there, no problem. Let's go to our net logger, N5 Bravo Echo. You're up, Lee. K2SJP.
K2SJP N5BE. I guess that handle worked okay for you, Bob. Great to hear you this morning. Booming signal as usual on me. I'm going to pass on the question because I have intimate knowledge of this. It was a required reading for employees of my grade at my corporation. So I'm going to go ahead and pass, but I do have something to add to it after you give the answer. So thanks for the question today, Bob. It brought back some memories of sitting in a room being lectured. Believe me, this was a sad day for our corporation, especially in light of how this whole thing transpired. So I'll leave it at that for now, Bob. And once again, great to hear you today, and hope you're on the mend. K2SJP N5BE.
N5BE, K2SJP. Okay, Lee is passing. And I think I understand why. And we'll let you comment on the 73 round, Lee. Break with you, Lee. Over to Dale, W5OG. You're up, Dale. K2SJP.
All right, fine, Bob. Good to hear you on, and sounds like you're doing well, so we're very, very happy about that. Yeah, interesting weekend here, W5OG, Dale in East Texas. And we did, my son-in-law, who lives close by now, which is sure convenient, he's called W5PU. But anyway, he's a big help, and we rented it's actually a hydraulic, it's a towable hydraulic device that is a boom lift. And the working height is up to 50 feet, and we used it right to the maximum. And it was a lot of fun, actually. We got a lot of things done this weekend, and some antenna repair. I do have a problem with the big tower, the one with the motor on it. The motor is, I don't know, I think it's only about 4 years old. The tower's been there for 24 years, and the quad has been there for 24 years, so it's all good. Needs some occasional repair, so we thought we'd take advantage of that. When I was putting the antenna down to the 22-foot level, I had problems with the motor. It kept popping the breaker and sounding weird and doing all sorts of things, and then it kept popping the circuit breaker, like I say, and I finally had to give it up. We got it down to about 35 feet, and fortunately we had a lift device that would get us up that high to repair what needed to be done. But now I can't get it back up. So if it's not one thing, it's something else. But I did some other work around here that required getting to the 50-foot heights, and that worked well. And I must say it was worth it. We had it for the whole weekend, and it took pretty much the whole weekend to get done what we wanted to do. And, it always takes longer than you anticipate. Anyway, I think the answer is Alpha. Yeah, it was the XB70, and I believe that two folks were actually perished in that incident. And I'm anxious to hear what Lee has to say about why it occurred. I know it was an F-104 that got tangled up, and which doesn't make sense because those people, the fighter pilots in the category of the F-104 as Lee, W4PUO is an X-104 pilot and also a SR-71 pilot. But, they fly formation all the time. That's just second nature to them. And he drifted into the XB70. It must have been something that maybe would help explain that, because inexplicable. But I probably have forgotten the details, but that's as much as I recall. So Alpha and Bravo. And I'll put it back to you, Bob, and sure glad to have you back with us there. K2SJP W5OG.
W5OG, K2SJP. Okay, yeah, we're doing good. We got the taking a water pill every day, and we're shrinking down to nothing. So we're fine. We feel much better. The arm is quite a bit better. No more sling as of Sunday. My arm is free and clear. So, break with you, Dale. Let's go over to James, K25PTE. You're up, James, K2SJP.
All right, Bob, K2SJP, K25PT. I'm going to unkey and real quick. Can you tell me if you're copying me now?
Copying you fine now.
All right, I'll continue. Thanks for running the net, Bob. Good to hear you back. Glad things turned out for you health-wise. Good to hear you. You're sounding good on the radio here. Solid S9, 10 over 9. Anyway, a couple of years ago, we were at the museum there, and all of us saw the XB70 there at the museum in Dayton, and it was quite an awesome sight to see that thing up in person. And Cliff and I walked around that thing several times and were amazed by it. But as far as the answer to your question, I'm going to start with the bonus question first. One pilot died, and the co-pilot ejected was badly injured, and the F-104 pilot, of course, perished. So I guess my answer would be Bravo. One soul died in the XB70, which was the aircraft that crashed, the XB70. So the answer is XB70, and the pilot died. And the F-104, of course, drifted into it. And, of course, they had both aircraft there at the museum, the F-104 and the XB70. That was quite a sight to see that aircraft. Anyway, thanks for running the net. I'm going to be one and done here. I will listen out for a little bit. I got to make a few phone calls, and I've got a lot of running around to do today. So I may be on Echolink here in the mobile here in a little bit, but I will give my 73s now to you and the Flyers and turn it back to net control. KG5PT.
Okay, KG5PTE, K2SJP. Okay, James, fine business all the way. We got you down for Alpha and Bravo, and your signals came up. You were quite a bit down before, but you're okay now locally. You're up there. So we'll let you go. We'll catch you later on, maybe on Echolink. Break with you, James. Let's go over to Ray. WB2JJO. You're up, Ray. K2SJP box.
K2SJP from WBC from JJO. Well, I'll tell you what there, Bob. Correct James' answers. His answers was alpha alpha. His answers was alpha alpha. And you said alpha bravo, but he was alpha alpha. So look good for that. We got a beautiful day here. We got 70 degrees here in
Is Ray talking? I'm not hearing him.
He's talking, K1 BOB.
He's talking.
He turned it, Bob.
He turned it, Bob. His answers were alpha alpha. W5ABI.
Okay, thank you, Joe and Bob. Ray, I was not copying you at all, but we got you for alpha alpha. I'm not copying New Jersey, but I am copying New York. So, W2WLD to get it. This is K2SJP.
Yeah, okay, Bob. I hope you're still copying. You went down a bit. Fans up and down. Good morning, Flyers. Dale, you had quite a weekend. That must have been an uplifting experience. We were spent a couple days at our lake house getting it ready for the season. There's kind of spring cleaning and some yard work to do, but we're all set to go. The question, I'm going to go with Alpha Bravo. XC70, and I think 2 fatalities. So Alpha Bravo, please, Bob. K2SJP W2WLD.
W2WLD, K2SJP. Alpha Bravo it is, Bill. We got you down for Alpha Bravo. And coming in pretty good today. I bet you got your beam a little bit over towards me because your copy is quite good. And same with you, Joe. And you are up, W5ABI, K2SJP.
Yeah, K2SJP and the Flyers, W5ABI. Good morning, Bob. Good morning to all the Flyers. Thanks for running the net. Another beautiful day here in Las Cruces. I think the wind subsided. We need some of that Texas rain. I don't think we've had a decent rainfall in over 8 months. So that's how it is when you live in the desert. So anyhow, it's currently 82, going up to 92 today. So pretty comfortable. Humidity's only about 7% now, so should be comfortable. Anyhow, we're going to get the new rotor up in the air this afternoon, so we'll be back up at 20 feet. But I'm finding out it doesn't make much of a difference. Very high. Anyhow, on your question, we're going to go with Alpha Bravo. And we'll be here at the bottom, Bob. K2SJP, W5ABI.
W5ABI, K2SJP. Alpha Bravo. Okay, fine business, Joe. And you're hitting the SDR real good, but copy you locally, no problem at all. Okay, break with you, Joe. Let's go over to our commander, K1 BOB, K2SJP.
Okay, good morning again, Bob. Great net. Thank you for doing it. Glad you hit the swing off there. That's one step towards it. Keep it up. Very good question. Yeah, we've talked about this in the past, and I know I've done a lot of research on it, so it kind of came back to me. Well, I think it's a matching carry. And I hope it's not sure anyone's done that. Oh, yeah, we got one set there. Oh, very good for him. Yeah, I'm going to say Valkyrie. And the answer was it's either A or 2. I can interpret your second question 2 ways. Was it total number died? There was the F-104 pilot. That was the chase guy on the wing for that photo op for the company. And there was also the co-pilot that was not able to get out in time and went down to the aircraft. It was in it when it exploded. Pretty much it caught fire. So it's a total of two, one in the Valkyrie and one in the 104. And the reason that 104 hit him, it was kind of an unknown. The very ends of those wings were made to go in a downward position for high speed, and they were down at the time, and without a tendency to suck anything in with the vortices. So it basically sucked that 104 into it, where it hit it, collided with it, the wing tip there on the starboard side, the right side, and then it went up and took a bit of the tail out too, I think. So the 104 pilot, very experienced, he did not survive either. So total of two, one in each aircraft. There's my answer. And another interesting question is there was a photo aircraft there. So this is a photo thing for the aircraft company, which wasn't totally authorized, I think, and was very questionable. Whose aircraft served as the photographic plane to take all the pictures of this when it happened? It was a famous celebrity. Whose celebrity provided, what celebrity did the Learjet? That's my question. I think I remember. It was played in Las Vegas once. K2SJP, back to you, Bob. Great question.
Okay, K2SJP, K2SJP. I do not have the slightest idea. I know it was promoted by General Electric. They paid for everything, but I didn't know about the Learjet. And yeah, I wanted the total number of pilots that did not make it with both aircraft, F-104 and whatever the answer is. So the total number of pilots. I hope I made that clear enough to everybody. But if not, somebody wants to change their answer, just let me know. Okay. Now, I'm curious. Let's see. NX6RG. How strong you are today, Bob. Hey, NX6RG again. It's K2SJP.
K2SJP, this is NX6RG. Good morning, Bob. Good morning to all the flyers. Beautiful day here in Northern California. And interesting question. I was thinking that your first question might be a trick question. I think most of us remember the XB-70 crash. But your question said, what plane was basically canceled after a mid-air collision? But the thing about this is I remember it, and I may be wrong about this, but I think those two XB-70s at Edwards were basically flying test beds at the time, because I think the production decision had been canceled before these flights, or that particular flight. And I remember all the controversy about it because it was basically a photo op session for GE, as I remember. They produced the engines, and 6 of them that go in that XB-70. And as James said, those of us who went to the Air Force Museum a couple of years ago, you can see that, the remaining XB-70 there, and those 6 engines that are in the belly there. But as I remember it, I think the cancellation had already occurred. I may be wrong about that, but that's what I remember. So based on your question, I have to go with Echo. That none of those aircraft, were canceled after the mid-air collision. I think the cancellation for production was before. Anyway, so put me down for Echo. I may be totally wrong on that, but that's what I remember. And that's why it was so controversial, because it was basically a photo op for GE, as I remember. And I'm sure Lee will give us more information on that, and he can correct my memory if I'm wrong there. And there were two pilots killed, as I remember. One from the B-7, and the other was the chase pilot in the 104. And I think anyway, that's what I remember. So Echo Bravo would be my answers this morning, Bob. And you're one of the strong. Well, you are the strongest signal into Northern California this morning, Bob. So I'm presuming you're hearing me okay. K2SJP, 6RG.
NX6RG, K2SJP. All you need is a dipole. You are the strongest signal of everybody on the list. 30 over 9. Good. Solid, almost full quieting, Bob. Okay, we'll ask Lee on that at the end. Otherwise we're going to have to research it and see. But we got you for Echo.
Frequency is in use.
Both of you, Bob, let's go over to Frank. And for GYY to get it. K2SJP, you're up, Frank.
Stand by. It's K4YDB. Sorry about that. Boy, I tell you what, when you called, my phone, my phones went off at the same time. It's unreal. Anyway, it's K4YDB. Bob, your signal's up and down. It's been up and down all morning, but times you're a 9. But I've copied you most of the time, all without a problem. Right now it's currently 68 degrees here. And that's supposed to be our high for today. It is going to be a cool day today. And I tell you what, I got up this morning and opened up some windows in the house, let it air out a little bit. And I had to close them because it got a little chilly. Right now, not a lot else is going to go on over here. Yesterday, I went to a place called the Rally Point Grill. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, or I don't think got one out in Texas. But it's a really, really cool place to go, man. It's designed around veterans, and it was. We walked around and looked at all the pictures that they had on the walls, and they don't have anything, weapons or anything like that in there, big tanks or nothing like that. It's a bar stroke grill, and they got some pretty good food over there, and the prices are very reasonable too. But we did enjoy that, and I really want to go back now. So anyway, that's all that's going on over here. As far as the question goes, I think I'm just going to stick with Alpha and Bravo. K2SJP, K4YDB, I'm back to net.
how you sounded.
Okay, triple YGB, K2SJP. Okay, you got stepped on a little bit there. Somebody's tuning up on frequency. Probably don't realize we have a busy net right now. So you're coming in pretty good, but the QRM was pretty high. But we got you to Alpha and Bravo. Charlie, we'll see what happens with that. Let's go to 825 CAY. Brian. You're up, Brian. It's K2SJP. Is anyone here? AC5CAY.
Bob, I got nothing on 2 SDRs and direct.
Okay, we got 3 receive only. It's Michael, KJ5, Norm, and 9, KJ, and John, WA6, OKO. Good morning to you guys. Thank you for listening. Absolutely. K2 PCQ. He is very close to me. I'm probably not going to copy. So Dale, maybe you might put K2 PCQ. This is K2SJP.
Bob, he's 73 before the net started. He just wanted a signal report.
Okay, so then that's the end of the list. Okay, so anyone else would like to check into the Air Force's Flyers Club Net? Please call now. There's a QRP station in there. I can hardly copy you. Give me a call a couple of times. This is K2SJP. Is anybody copying that station right down into the noise? Unfortunately, I cannot copy you. You're way down into the noise. I could tell you sales better, but stand by one more time. Anyone else that's checking into the Air Force's Flyers Club Net, please phone in. Okay, nothing heard. Dale, would you make a final call? 7502
I will do. This is Whiskey 5, Oscar Golf. Last call for check-in for the Air Force's Flyers Club Net. Members or visitors, call now. Nothing further, Bob.
Okay, fine. On that, so we're now at the end of the list. Let's give the answer to the question of the day. And is, what aircraft was made for the SAC, but was canceled after a mid-air crash? A, the North American XC-70A. B, the North American Bronco. C, the Douglas C-58. D, the C-14. D, none of the above. The answer is A, most of you got it. The XC-70A is the aircraft that F-104 starfighter. And according to the question, it was canceled afterwards. General Electric company, the engine company, was doing a sponsor for themselves doing work. So that's the info I have. When we get to the email, let me make the comment on it. Let me drill down. Oh, wait a minute, we have the, I'm sorry, the bonus question. The bonus question is Alex Award in George Fisher. And the answer is 2. Bravo. Most of you got that right also. The answer is 2. One in each aircraft. One in the F-104 and one in the C-78. So that's the question of the day. Let's go to the top of the list and see if we can copy this at this time. W5BIS Mobile is K2SJP.
Well, K2SJP W5PIX Mobile here in New Braunfels, Texas. We had to go through an accident, a rolled over pickup. And anyways, very good question. Yeah, we stood underneath the
he's talking.
And I hear Bob locally, but he's not hearing me. So, and I'm pointed towards Florida right at the moment. Anyway, 7-3's catch all over on Ankle Lakes, W5PIX, bad conditions.
He turned it, Bob. They want to open. Thank you, Bob. Unfortunately, I can't copy you. Hopefully, I don't know where you're at, but I don't even know you on the SDR. So, I'll catch you on, Steve. Now, Steve said he will probably be gone, but let me just try a minute over. K2SJP HJN. This is K2SJP.
Hi, thanks, Bob. Yeah, I'm here, and 7-3, whatever. I didn't get the answer. Wishful thinking that we didn't lose anybody, but thanks for the question. Back to you, Bob. He turned it, Bob.
Okay, yeah, I'm not copying you, Steve. Some stations and people are copying you today. Everyone's especially so strong as different, like 6RG. It's the propagation. Okay, let's go over to Lily, and Lily, we want to hear your comment about the X370. M5BE, K2SJP.
K2SJP M5B. Well, this learners group knows a lot of stuff, and they know a lot about this accident. When I hired into GE in 1978, I knew about the accident, but in 1980, I changed jobs to become a field representative for GE, and we all those candidates went to Cincinnati headquarters, where we were briefed on history of GE aviation, and this was a topic. And what was made clear to us, being the field people that were going to be the spare point for the corporation out there, the importance of working through channels. And as the professor pointed out, this photo op was not cleared through normal channels. It was, I believe, it was a personal relationship between the GE project office and the flight test community out at Edwards. And I do believe the program had been canceled already. I think that's right. And it wasn't canceled because of this. It was canceled because of the evolving threat that made the aircraft essentially useless. So the idea behind all of this was to get all the GE-powered aircraft at the test center in formation with the the XB70. And I'm intrigued by Bob's question on the chase plane. I don't know the answer to that, so I'm going to learn something. But yeah, that was their bright idea to do a photo op, to make a big poster out of this thing. And what they found out post-accident was the F4, relative to its position to the B-70's wing, was blind when that wing extension was through. I think Bob had pointed that out as well. So one more time, you get this whole thing that is it sounded like it was just thrown together without a tremendous amount of pre-flight briefing, and the result was an accident and loss of 2 pilots. I was involved in many air-to-air photo shoots as a tech rep in helicopters, and I was always mindful that accidents were prevalent in air-to-air photo shoots. So I was always a little edgy about it, but hanging out the door of a helicopter with no doors or windows with a camera in your hand, you kind of went with the moment, but it was always in the back of my mind. So most of you already knew the backstory. So thank you for the question, Bob. Brought back some memories, and enjoy it. K2SJP
N5BE, K2SJP. Well, the only thing is, do you believe it was canceled before the accident, or as the question is stated on the quiz, afterwards? And of course, I could be wrong. Personally, I don't know. I just copied the quiz question and answer. N5BE, K2SJP.
Yeah, I think it was canceled. That's what my memory says, and it was canceled relative to the outcome of the U-2 shoot down with SA-2, and that killed the program because this was a high altitude, high speed aircraft, and it wasn't going to make it in that threat environment.
Okay, fine business all the way. Well, that will make NX6RG the only check-in with both right answers. And apparently they made a mistake on the question in the quiz that I copied it from. They definitely said afterwards. So fine business on that, Bob. And thanks for that info, Lee. Break with you. Let's go over to Dale. 73, Dale. W5OG, K2SJP.
Okay, very fine, Bob. Yeah, good question. Interesting topic, and always good to hear the perspective of different folks that have some background on this. And yeah, I do recall the experience at the Air Force Museum there with a bunch of the Air Force's flyers. Sure was nice. We need to do that again. Anyway, 7-3, everybody. See you over on Echolink. Thanks, Bob, for a great net. K2SJP, W5OG.
W5OG, K2SJP. Okay, second strongest signal. Only Bob is beating me out today with his cycle. Goes to show you, it's not always the antenna. Propagation's got a lot to do with it. Okay, Ray, I did not copy you earlier. Excuse me. Let me see if I can copy you now. WB2JJO 73, Ray, K2SJP. WB2JJO, K2SJP. I could just about hear you, Ray, on the SCR. Not copying you locally today. That's just the propagation. Over to Bill, W2WLD, this K2SJP. 73 is Bill.
Well, I don't know what you did, but you're 10 over S9 now. Beautiful. And thank you for running a great net. Enjoyed it. I want to thank Lee for the insight into the question and the additional info. Everyone have a great day. 73 K2SJP W2WLD.
W2WLD, K2SJP. Good copy, Bill. Good copy today. Break with you. Let's go over to Joe, W5ABI, over in Las Cruces. You're up, Joe. This is K2SJP.
K2SJP and the Flyers, W5ABI. Good net. Pretty good signals all around here. I got the questions right, so I'm happy today. Anyhow, thanks for running the net. 73 of you and all the flyers. K2SJP, W5ABI.
W5ABI, K2SJP. Okay, Joe, fine business all the way. Break with you. Let's go over to our commander, K1 BOB 73, Bob, K2SJP.
Well, K1 BOB, I couldn't hear Professor Bob there, unfortunately, but I'm hearing most everybody else here. Good net, good question. Yeah, I tried to pick apart your second one there, because it was two total, and I think I broke that down. For whatever the answer was, it was one per jet. How's that? I think that was the answer. And to back up there, where I mentioned celebrity there, well, Clay Lacy. He was a National Guard pilot who started at Clay Lacy Aviation. He went by Clay. He was one of the first two to ever fly the Boeing 377 Stratocruiser called the Pregnant Guppy. They were the first to fly that. So he had a pretty good name for himself. He's a bit of a celebrity. And that day, when the airplanes went down, Lacy piloted a Learjet 23 owned by Frank Sinatra. Earlier that day, he flew Sinatra and Dean Martin from Burbank to Palm Springs before flying out to Edwards Air Force Base to film the formation flight of the five aircraft, including the second XB-70. Anyway, yeah, like everyone said, it was an emotional shoot. The thing about why the Valkyrie was canceled, you really didn't say that in the first one. You just said it was canceled. And yeah, it was to go to SAC, and the other two aircraft would never go to SAC. They wouldn't go to Strategic Air Command. They would have gone to the Marines, maybe the Army, I think, in the Roswell, and the Air Force in Tactical Air Command. They never would have gone to SAC. So that was an easy one to eliminate there. And the other thing was, I think it was as much perhaps as the high altitude Soviet missiles, the SA-2, and that was some of it, because it did shoot down a U-2, like I think Lee mentioned. And that's but the other overwhelming factor, we had come out, the world had been coming out with intercontinental ballistic missiles, which are hard to shoot. They are hypersonic by definition coming in, and with multiple re-entry vehicles. They are very hard to defeat, very hard to defeat. Not totally, but very hard. And I think that was the primary reason, because they were right on the horizon and ready to come out. Anyway, that's what I was saying. It was a good question. Good. It brought up a lot of discussion. K1 BOB, nice job, Bob. Back to K2.
K1 BOB, K2SJP. Okay, fine. By the way, the pilot that was lost in the F-104 was Joe Walker. Joe Walker was lost in the F-104. And Paul Cross was the XB-70 pilot that was lost. And the other guy bailed out in parachute, and he was okay. So that's the story on that. So congratulations, NX6RG. Got a gold star today. You're up, Bob, K2SJP.
And K2SJP, this is NX6RG. Okay, Bob. Well, I'm glad Lee remembered that as well. Yeah, I just, Bob McNamara was Secretary of Defense under Kennedy and then Johnson, and he was well known for his bean counter status and how he put numbers to everything. And I remembered exactly as Lee did that you know, when the U-2 got shot down with an SA-2, we had really underestimated what that particular missile might accomplish. I mean, we did not realize that it would be effective at that altitude or could be effective at that altitude. And I think McNamara and his beam counters just decided to analyze this as the XB-70 or B-70, if it went into production, would not be survivable due to the SAM threat. And you know, now that I really think about it, I think he might have been wrong about that assessment. But, you know, if we had gone into production with it, you know, then the Soviets would have faced a larger threat, and who knows, they may have come up with with something different even than the SA-5 that went along later. And so who knows how it would have turned out, but what I did remember was at the time of that crash, there were only 2 of them flying, and they were basically test beds at Edward at that point. And I hadn't remembered that that photo op did not go through official channels, and that it was more of a personal connection. So that's interesting information. I just remember at the time being saddened because it was just a photo op flight, and that's a pretty high price to pay, you know, for a few pictures. So anyway, the one that's left is there at the Air Force Museum, and it's a pretty magnificent bird when you look at it. So anyway, 73 stall, and we'll see you on the air tomorrow. K2SJP and X6RG. And X6RG is good for this thing. Okay, Bob. That's maybe overnight. That's outpost stream. Really good. And everything. And next on the list is Frank. N4GYY together. Frank, I don't know if I'm happy or not. N4GYY. Okay. I'm not purposely testing that. I just got a written document from the network. So yeah, I used to do it.
K2SJP K4YDB. Well, Bob, I've almost lost you completely. You did come back up a little bit, but you're running about an S3 right now. But anyway, 73s, everybody. Everybody have a good day. We will try this again tomorrow. K4YDB, back to net.
Return to Bob, K1DLB.
You see only we have KJ5IAI, 29KJN, and definitely 6LKS. We recognize you guys as received only, and that's the end of the list. If there anyone I missed or any comments? Any last minute check-in? This is K2SJP. I don't know what that's all about, but there's some CRM on there. But okay, we're at the closing of the Lions Club Net for today. God bless America and God bless all of our troops. God bless each and every member of our Air Force's Lions Club Net. Stay safe, guys. Have a great day to all. This is K2SJP Net Control. The net is now closed and we're returning the frequency to normal atmosphere use. We'll be going up to echo into those that might come up there. K2SJP.